What's poppin', everybody? Sabro54. This is gonna be a long one. Set review for the Pokemon card 151 set. This is the Japanese version, but I'm pretty sure the English one is gonna be very similar. The idea is it's based on the original Pokedex of Kanto, 151. It includes Mew. And the set is gonna have more than 151 cards because of all the full arts, alternate arts, and all the extra cards. But anyway, the Japanese sets, usually they're around 180 cards sort of thing, and then they mix them up to one English set. So this is going to be really rough for me. Hopefully it doesn't take 2 hours to review the cards, but I aim to review everything. We're going to see what happens. So let's start already. Got the grass Pokemon, grass starter first, and it's Bulbasaur. Okay, doesn't do anything. Ivysaur. Doesn't do anything either. And then the main card, Venusaur EX. Of course, the EXs are always the stars these days. So 340 HP, big dog for sure, big retreat, fire weakness standard. Soothe and Bloom. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon. Wow. So this seems like a solid ability. It has to be active. You basically can use this to heal yourself, I guess. But you can also get a bunch of these out, use a lot of switches, a lot of switching cards, and then get more healing. Obviously combine this with other healing cards, and then this guy can be a tank, or you can make a different Pokemon a tank. And then the attack, Potent Whip, 150 for 3. Opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned and confused. So this damage output isn't the greatest. I guess with the poison, you're at 160. And then if the opponent doesn't retreat, 170. Okay, that's not too bad. Important thing is that you can use this to get 2-hit KOs on mostly everything. And then the confusion can hinder them as well. But I think this Pokemon is pretty good. I mean, tank strategies are always plagued by, this Pokemon being grass. I guess fire in this case. Fire usually finds a way to be good, and then grass Pokemon can never be that competitive. But I mean, you never know. I look at it as a good tank card. Built-in healing. We've got a bunch of other healing cards you can use. And there's the stage 2 as well. I don't remember the name, like the Dakla something. Little Mega Man cube thing. Pokemon. You can use this for additional healing. This is going to be a stage 2 though, it's not a basic. So you combine 2 stage 2 lines. But it might have potential. I mean, there's the fire starter as well from the Scarlet and Violet. That can be used as a tank too. Maybe it's going to be better due to the weakness. Who knows? But that's Venusaur. Moving on, we got Charmander. So they're going with order. That's pretty cool. But I think it makes sense. I mean, in the past, they did the Pokemon sets alphabetically, the cards. It didn't have to do with their types in the good old EX era. So Charmander doesn't really do much. They still insist on giving them weak stats, weak attacks, weak HP's the worst part. So 90 for 3, 20 for 1. Okay, cool looking Charmeleon. And then Charizard EX, of course, this guy's going to be in here too, obviously. And I mean, this set is going to be really hot. I still don't know if it's going to be a very competitive set. I'm looking at the cards for the first time, as usually I do. But it's going to be a hot collectible set, so you probably want to get your hands on it. Okay, so 330 HP, better retreat, water weakness. Yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, get your hands on it, because if you want to try and collect it later on, if it gets expensive as fuck, if there's not enough stock with Pokemon, some sets they do enough stock, others they don't, or it just everybody wants a specific set. So you keep that in mind if you don't want to just pay too much price. And this guy, Resolute Wings, 60, and then if this Pokemon has any damage counters, 100 damage. So they do a lot. They do this a lot with Charizard now. I guess if it's hurt, it does more damage. Now, 160 for 1, it's actually pretty strong. It's in that range to get 2 hit KOs. So maybe you'll find a way to put a damage counter on this guy and then make the attack. Now, obviously, with the Magma Basin Stadium, you got a combo already. And you do a lot of damage, like the Charizard V-Star, but much quicker with this guy. And 330 is usually going to take a hit. Now, possibly even more so than Venusaur. The weakness is a bigger problem because water is good now, thanks to Chien-Pao and Excalibur. That deck is kind of popular now. I don't know if it's going to remain popular. It might not. I don't keep up with the competitive stats and tournaments and stuff, but I see what goes on in TCG Live, if it's popular there. I've used it myself and it is pretty effective. So maybe this guy won't have a chance because of water. We'll see. But first attack is good. Second attack, Detonating Vortex, 330, and discard 3 energies on this Pokemon. But 330 damage, it gets 1 hit KOs on almost everything. It's kind of a magical number. Pretty cool. I mean, in an ideal world, I would like to use this with something like Emboar and expand it, but I can't. And it's 2 stage 2, so it's probably going to be difficult to make. But, I mean, he can do a lot of damage, some typical stuff, you know. Big damage with Charizard, big numbers, a lot of energies. People dig it, kind of cool. Is it going to be a good? I don't know. Maybe if we get more fire support. The thing is with when you got these big costs, you do this sort of big damage, you need an easy way to accelerate energy. And I don't see this guy having a partner for that now. I mean, who knows? I might be wrong. But it's Charizard. It's probably going to be expensive as fuck anyway. You got the Squirrel line. Pretty cute artwork. Dig it. Got War Turtle. This one nice as well. I like this sort of background. It reminds me of the old Poke Beach website and their background. It was a million times better back then. Both Maryland and Poke Beach, man, they were just so good before, like 10, 15 years ago at this point. Anyway, doesn't do anything special. And then Blastoise EX. This guy, it's got that ability, block 30 damage from attacks while having 330 HP. So this guy's going to be the bulkiest of them. And then Twin Cannons, discard up to 2 basic water energies from your hand. Does 140 for each card discarded this way. So I think this is actually pretty strong. It says from the hand in the translation here. Sometimes there's Cerebi is inaccurate with the translation, but if it's correct, it's good. If it's from your guy, it's still good if you discard from the Pokemon, because it means you're just gonna put the 2 water energies on, be discarding as many as you want from your hand, and you can do 280, which it's fixed damage, but it's still pretty strong. Get 1-hit knockouts on key Pokemon. And just do a lot of damage, period. I mean, once again, it's just going to pair up with water energy Pokemon like Excalibur, Chien-Pao helping you get the cards in hand. I mean, you're not even going to need Excalibur, perhaps. Just need a way to just get your energies in hand. Use Lady, perhaps. Who knows? 2 attachments. This guy's ready to go if you don't discard energies on himself. And do that big damage. It's going to be rough to kill because of his extra ability. And you got yourself a Blastoise deck. Could be something. Yeah, don't really have anything to say else. These ZXs are pretty simple, but they could be good. You got the bugs, Caterpie and Butterfree. It's got a grass energy on, does 30 more damage, whatever. Yeah, mega weak HP. Metapod with 90, that's almost impressive. It might even be the first Metapod card to have 90 HP, who knows. But I mean, it's still shit. Kind of nice forest artwork here, even though I'm not a fan of Pokemon like Metapod. I mean, Metapod is okay. Caterpie, I think, is kind of ugly. But I mean, it's because I do think it was supposed to be the Caterpie evolving into Venomoth and Venonat evolving into Butterfree. But whatever. Maybe some people are going to disagree, but anyway. It doesn't do much though. And then Butterfree, this is definitely shit though. Man, I can't believe, I don't know why they keep doing this. I guess it's gonna be like this forever. Certain stage 2s are gonna have shit HP no matter what. All of the stage 2 Pokemon have bad HP as it is. But I guess some of them, like Butterfree, are just gonna eternally be stuck in this Diamond and Pearl HP range. 130 HP was good HP like 15 years ago, if my math is correct, during the Diamond and Pearl era. Like, this is at this point 5 generations ago. Why do they keep printing these cards with this HP? They're gonna be dying in one shot. I mean, even if it had 170 HP, it's still dying in one shot. But, okay, I'm not gonna repeat myself again. Whirlwind, 60 for 1, your opponent switches, shit damage. And then, bye-bye Flight, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, shuffle both this Pokemon and that Pokemon in the deck, completely useless. You lose your guide too, you don't do any damage, you don't get any prizes. Maybe it's going to be a recipe for some kind of a control gimmick bullshit deck, which I don't like. But it's just very difficult to keep doing. I mean, I really don't see it. Excelgo did damage, paralyzed the Pokemon. You go back in the deck. This is just going to put your opponent's Pokemon in the deck too, but then what are you accomplishing? And it has to be a bench Pokemon, so you can't even do this to get like an easy win or some shit. So, just filler, not much thought put into these cards, just to print something. And we got Weedle line. Weedle looking pretty happy here. I guess it's enjoying some shit, enjoying the sun, who knows? It's almost like he had something delicious to eat, who the fuck knows? Kakuna, this one has 80 HP. Not affected by the attacks of your opponent's Pokemon. What? So I think it might be something that works from the bench. Who knows? I don't think this is translated properly. Not affected by the attacks. Maybe it's the effect, or maybe if it's on the bench it gets protected. Who knows? I don't know. And then Beedrill, same stats, just as bad. So Pierced, 110 for 2. This is terrible, extremely weak. Should have been like 110 for 1, and even that wouldn't have been that good these days. And then Adverse Stinger, if you don't have any cards in your hand, this attack does 120 damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned and paralyzed. So you gotta be handless, and then it's gonna be 150 auto poison and paralysis. So maybe some people are gonna try and make this work. I guess what you can do is you can use the little rodent Pokemon that people use with a barrel to draw more cards, and I guess that combo acts like a Shauna. You know, get rid of cards you don't want in your deck and draw again with the barrel. You can use this with Beedrill, and then hopefully you get a card that you can play and then make this work, but it's probably going to be unreliable. I guess it depends on the cards you put in your deck, how you built your deck. Who knows? But no matter what happens, you're dying in one shot with 130 HP. The auto paralysis, they can play around it. I mean, the idea is you're going to have to attack twice. So if they stay stuck with the paralysis, you still got to attack twice. You need 2 energies, so you got to use the Turbo DC. You only got 4 of those, and that's going to decrease your damage too. We don't have the Twin DC energy. So there's just so many problems, as always, that are going to make this card useless. So don't even think about it. We got PG line. Get basic Pokemon to put them onto your bench. Pidgeotto. Extremely weak. I guess it has free retreat though. And then Pidgeot. Just as bad. 130 HP still. It's got free retreat, but it's still not good. Flat 40 for 1. Shit. And then Fly. Flip a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. So you know it's bad. And then if heads, it's immune to everything. But the damage isn't that good for 3 energies. I don't like it. Just filler as usual. That's too bad. Rattata, Eradicate. 10 more damage for each damage counter already in your opponent's active Pokemon. Man, you know, it's funny. This Rattata has a better attack than a lot of the Stage 2 Pokemon we've looked at so far. So, this means that if let's say if your opponent has 5 damage counters on, you're doing 70 for 2. If they've got like 10, you're doing 120. So yeah, it's not the greatest multiplier, but I mean, it's just a basic Pokemon. That's a Rattata. Okay, and then the Eradicate, same style of attack, but a better multiplier. So 30 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this, if they got 5 damage on, you're doing 180. And that's impressive. So a little bit of setup, this guy can get some big 2-hit KOs, but I mean, it's still weak. 70. Need a DC to make this attack work. It's kind of strange, this sitting on a dustbin or whatever that shit is. Those things you put in your garden and then you put the shit inside. Anyway. Spearow, Fearow. If you go second, can evolve on your first turn. Okay, very weak HP though. I can't even admire the artwork, man. I gotta go fast with this set. Gotta look at the cards. Set your deck for up to 3 cards and then put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So, there's been other cards with these types of effects, and they're kind of too slow. I mean, there's a damn Ferret. I'm actually going to do a Ferret TCG overview. Spoiler alert. But yeah, same HP, was a stage 1, could do this costless. You grab 2 cards, but it was just better in every way, even if you get 1 less card. So it's kind of crazy. It's been so many years, and this card is barely better than that Ferret card from Secret Wonders. I mean, it's got a better attack, 50 for 1, and then free retreat, and then a resistance, but that you got to keep in mind that we're talking like 15 years ago here. 15 years ago, and that Ferret is almost as good. It had 90 HP, its first attack was costless, then you grab 2 cards. And I mean, that's about it. It's insane. It's not even going to be any good. And then we got Arbok. Well, we got Ekans first. Okay. Doesn't do much. And then Chilling in the Flowers. Reminded me of something. And then Arbok getting an EX. This might be the first special card, I guess, besides some of the Team Rocket cards. Arbok didn't get a lot of special cards. I mean, this might be the first special card like Fortress. So I'm actually kind of glad. It looks like they are trying to give some of the more less popular or less remembered Pokemon some special cards instead of just giving us fucking Charizard cards all day, although they're still doing that. So it's 270 HP. You can do bind, 70 for 2, and then can retreat. Maybe that's okay. And then Menacing Fangs, 150, and then your opponent chooses and discards 2 cards from their hand. So this can be kind of good, but I don't know. I mean, you might need a little bit more support for hand discarding. And the thing is, depending on the supporter they got, you might even help them with this effect. But I guess it's just something different than printing the same old shit. The problem is that at 150, you don't get 2-hit KOs, and that's kind of fucked up. You're going to get 2-hit KOs on V-Stars and other Stage 1 EXs, but against the Stage 2 EXs, you don't do enough damage, so that could be troublesome. You want to do at least enough damage to be putting pressure onto, and then letting the discarding be a nice little bonus, I suppose. But yeah, kind of a basic Pokemon. Maybe it's going to be good. It needs 3 Darkness Energy specifically, though. We still got Dark Patch, but I mean, I don't know. If you think about it, Darkrai V-Star might still be better than this card. It's still around. Maybe I should revisit it. I mean, same HP, you get a V-Star power. You get maybe a better attack, potentially. So, I don't know. And that is Arbok. Pikachu line, cutesy. Seek for basic energy and attach it to this Pokemon. Defeats the purpose. And then Raichu. When one of your Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack, you may move a lightning energy from that Pokemon to this Pokemon. So, kind of like an experience share ability. And then Thunder. 180 damage and then does 50 damage to itself. This doesn't matter because this guy dies in one shot all the time with this HP. 1 damage could be okay. Just a stage 1. I think maybe some people are going to try and use this in the Miraidon decks. I mean, you're using space to put in the experience shares. Might as well just utilize this guy. Regular Pokemon too, gonna put you in that even price range. After you use Raikou or some shit, you can use this. Who knows, it might be good. It does 180 damage too, so it's powerful. And it's... well, I mean, I guess it's not gonna get the bonus of fucking Regieleki, but maybe it can be good. Who knows? I don't know. 180, it's okay damage. It can't be threatening, but it's not gonna give you 1 hit KOs. That's for sure. Even Raikou is gonna be better. But yeah, I mean, the ability kind of makes the attack cost a little bit less of a headache. And you just gotta keep it active there and just use different Pokemon and it's just gonna keep getting energies. So, who knows? I don't know. Got Sandshrew and Sandslash. Trainer cards in your opponent's discard pile can't be shuffled back into their deck by an effect or your opponent's item of supporter cards. Now this is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't say it's gotta be active. So this could be used as a disruption card. You just gotta keep it there and then your opponent can't use fucking pile pads and shit. Might be something to think about. I kinda like it. Yeah. I think it's pretty fair. And then Sandslash. Tremors, 30 for 1, can't retreat, weak. And then Big Spikes. I don't know why there's a grass energy here, but the original card, you just use DC. So if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, 180 for 3. That's not too great. Gonna die in 1 shot. This isn't so good. Sandshrew is better. Yeah. Nidoqueen line. Made it dark. Poison. 3 Pokemon, put them into your hand. Family Call. And the Nidoqueen. Kind of miss, man, the team up Nidoqueen. If only it was a little bit better, it could have been even more competitive. I say that like it was kind of competitive. I mean, some people did use it with Meganium back then, but it could have been even better. So Queen Press, during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon will receive no damage from your opponent's basic Pokemon's attacks. So kind of a wall attack, a barrier attack, but I mean, you gotta think about a lot of evolution Pokemon are seeing play. This isn't like the basic and X and Y days of EX Pokemon, so you're not really gonna be that immune to shit. Lunge out, weak as fuck, too many energies, kind of disappointing. You got the Nidoking line. You do Horn, still the 60 HP, that's weak. Same for this guy. If you have Nidoqueen in play, this Pokemon needs no energies to attack. So I guess this is your reason to get the Nidoqueen out. And then if you do, this guy can do 190 for free. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. So free damage and poison. Now you know what? It might look like this is going to be too inconsistent. And it probably still is going to be inconsistent because it's 2 stage 2 Pokemon. But just like the Decidueye that didn't need energies to attack, that I try to make a little bit use out of. I wish it was a little bit better. This might be a gimmick, but it's still something we can try. If we're going to have Nidoqueen in play, and then this guy doesn't need energies to attack, then it means I can build another deck once again that has no energies. So you Save all the space you would need for energies, and especially this guy with 4 energies, you were never going to make it work. And then you can make your deck more consistent, so 2 stage 2 lines, you might still be able to make it work. So this is actually kind of exciting for me. I kind of find this appealing. Making a stage 2 deck with 2 stage 2s. You know, the Nidoran family, Nidoqueen and Nidoking working together, just like before. And then you got a deck. I mean, I don't think there's any abilities that are going to shut down this guy as a stage 2 regular Pokemon. I mean, if there would be, you'd be fucked. But this is something that maybe we can try out. 190, it's respectable enough. And you basically got a deck. I dig it. I mean, if we could have even used this with like the Nidoqueen from Team Up, it would have been even better. Helping you grab Pokemon too, it would have been so great. I was going to be loving it, but it would have to be an expanded, and I can't really use expanded now because of TCG Live. That's the one negative thing they did, but maybe it's a blessing too, because I hate expanded with all the broken shit. So, if you want an expanded deck that's a regular deck that's going to be kind of cool though, team up Nidoqueen with this guy. I think it will be pretty fun. And in standard, you can still use the Nidoqueen they provide in this set. And it could be something. I'm definitely going to try it out though. Looking forward to it. Okay. Got Clefable line. Search your deck for 3 Clefairy and put them onto your bench. Okay. Get everybody. And then the Clefable. 100 HP. Damn, that's so weak. Just seems like this is black and white DP days once again. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. No damage. And then if your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by this attack, take 1 more prize card. Seen this before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, in this case, you need 3 energies. I guess you do a little bit of damage, 50 damage. So this could be sort of dangerous. You got something that's half dead, and then you attack with this, you get an extra prize. That's always pretty busted. But only a very specific niche of decks would use this. Gimmick decks, maybe. You do need 3 psychic energies. I guess Gardevoir can use this. That could be a little bit dangerous. You know, you do 190 damage with Gardevoir, and then Clefable could come in and get the last kill. You know what? If they actually gave us a card... Oh, shit. Shaking the desk. If they gave us a card like Choice Belt that would increase damage on EX Pokemon, this with Gardevoir EX would actually be kind of busted, because you can just use Gardevoir, do like 190 damage or 220 damage with the new Choice Belt for EXs, and then Clefable comes in then, doing 50 damage or more damage depending on your tool. So that's like 300 damage total if you got 2 Choice Belt-esque tools. Or if you just had 1, then it's in that 270 range, whatever. But getting that extra prize is huge. It can make things kind of busted. So do keep in mind this is compatible with Gardevoir. Depending on the cards we get, some people might try it out and it could be really broken. I mean... At the same time, it's weak stats that are always going to be dying in 1 shot. But just getting that 1 extra prize, that's always a broken effect. So I guess maybe the balancing works in this case, but not really. Got Vulpix and Ninetales EX, giving Ninetales some love. I think they know at this point that Ninetales is kind of a popular Pokemon. These sort of pet-like Pokemon, like cats, that can be... I guess you can associate them as effeminate Pokemon. Like the Evolutions, Ninetales, a bunch of others. I mean, of course, Ninetales can be a male too, but they're the sort of pet Pokemon. People kind of like them. I mean, I like Ninetales too, so it's gonna get an EX. Could be some cool full art or whatever. 260 HP, they kind of dropped the ball. Gotta make it weak, damn it. Should have been at least 270. Got the 2 retreat as well. It should have been 1 retreat if you're going to give it 260. And then Heat Wave, 30 for 1 and then Burn. Thank God it's 1 and not 2, like it says here. And I mean, it's still weak, but I guess it's going to be 50 damage total. And then Mirror in Flames, if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, this is going to do 220 for 2. Now, we got Iono in the format. We still got Judge in the format. This is something that you can sort of use. But, I mean, N or slash Iono, you got to have the same prizes. I guess Judge is always going to give you guys the same shit. But, I don't know. This isn't going to be that reliable. I wish it just did more damage depending on your opponent's cards in hand or your cards in hand. That would have been a bit more consistent. You can maybe control it better. And the damage output isn't even that good, to be honest. It's 220 for 2. You can get that sort of damage output with one more energy on different Pokemon. They're just easier to use and power up. So they kind of dropped the ball. It's kind of a shame because Ninetales is cool. It's not that special. I mean, the second attack isn't that amazing. First attack, I guess it's kind of an okay early attack. The HP isn't so special. I don't know. I mean, even Arcanine, you probably find more success with it. But who knows? I might be proven wrong. Judge does make this work. But then it means you got to use Judge and not play anything. I don't know, man. Maybe if we had like a Pokemon like the old Metagross EX, the fucking Marshall that got rightfully banned, where it's an ability Pokemon that just messes your guy's hand, both of them at once. Anyway. Wow, Wigglytuff getting an EX as well, but Clefable didn't. Maybe it's a bit unfair. So you can get a supporter card with Jigglypuff, with Lead. Okay. And then Wigglytuff EX. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, it gets 100 HP. Holy shit. This is kind of busted. I mean, especially because this is a colorless Pokemon. It's easy to slap in these, you know, special energies that just give you colorless and get their benefits and get the extra HP in this case. Kind of busted. And then the Friendship Tackle, it does have an effect, but they didn't translate it there. Kind of a shame, because I'm curious. But, I mean, it's going to be a 350 Stage 1 EX Pokemon. Don't take it lightly. It's got a special energy on. I mean, you probably put in the Turbo DC on it anyway. Maybe some other cards. Expanded, you got even more options. So I don't know, I'm curious what the damage is. It says 90 plus, so I guess you do more damage depending on some conditions. So even if the damage output, you know, it's not going to get you the 2-hit KOs because you're a big-ass tank Pokemon, this might still be something. Just something to use with other healing cards like the Lego Dude once again. Stage 2. You got Zubat and Golbat. I guess because it's 151, they're not going to put a Crobat in here, so it's a bit of a shame. So once during your turn, if this Pokemon is the active spot, you may have your opponent reveal their hand. And then Golbat does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, I guess so it's going to be filler stuff with these guys, unless they print a Crobat in a different set. Vileplume line. Nothing. You may play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. You may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, attach a number of basic energies to your Pokemon any way you like. So this, I mean, I guess for a stage 1 that can still evolve, maybe it's not too bad. As something you might get lucky enough to pull off. But if you're going to use this to power up specifically other Pokemon besides Vileplume, I don't know. You don't reveal that many cards. And there's other Pokemon that do this better, that don't really see much play, like Magnezone. Vileplume. So you may play this, you may look at the top 8 cards and attach a number of basic energies. So better numbers revealed and kind of the same shit. So I guess this is kind of like a better Electrode Prime without dumping the cards. They learned their lesson, that's for sure. But I don't know. Oh yeah, no wait, it's when you evolve. So yeah, you won't be able to get this every turn. Unless you evolve again. I don't know, man. I think there was like a Togekiss. There were some cards that... Well, there was an old Diamond and Pearl Togekiss that was okay. Then they gave us like a fairy one. I think it was in the X and Y era or some shit. Maybe the Sun and Moon era. I don't remember. They gave us other cards that do this shit. There was an Emperor, actually, I think in the Sun and Moon era, that they did this. They don't really see much play. Maybe you could do this to power up a specific Pokemon, but there's other methods that are more consistent. Plus, you get this once, so is it going to be worth it that much? I don't know. These cards are always difficult to use. And it's a stage 2 as well. It's not a stage 1. Maybe if it was a stage 1, it would have been easier to make use of. You got this sucker, Paris, and Parasect. For each hit, you may search your deck for grass Pokemon, put at your bench. Man, I gotta take a break. I can't take this. This is not good. I'm not even halfway and I'm tired. Should have ate something before. Anyway, my schedule is all fucked up. Then we got Venonat. Doesn't do anything. And then Venomoth that I hate. Venomoth, you got a useless second attack. And then the first attack, Confusion. Can't play any item cards from their hand during their next turn. So this is a bit annoying. It's an item lock attack with Confusion on top of this shit. What in the hell? So I guess their idea is you can't use Switch to get the fuck out of the way. So you're going to have to attack, and then with Confusion you're going to be kind of fucked. Now you know what? The damage is kind of low, and I think your opponent can just say, hey, you know what? Okay, I'm not just going to attack. I'm just going to power up my other dudes on the bench until I can attack. So it's not going to be as broken maybe as we think, but it is a bit worrying given it the auto confusion along with the item lock. So who knows? This could get annoying on a Pokemon that I hate, Venomoth. Other Pokemon, I mean, do this, but they really just haven't captured the success of Seismitoad. I mean, because he could do the damage, you could put Muscle Band on, you can use Hypnotoxic Lasers, and then the damage sort of added up. And you could do disruption shit, you had the Shamans, you could do a lot of shit with that guy. Nowadays, Pokemon have more HP, it's a bit more difficult, you don't have broken Hypnotoxic Laser shit. Who knows, we'll see. And it's a stage 1, too. Got Diglett. Cool Pokemon, whatever anybody can say. Ductrio. They dropped the ball. Artwork isn't the greatest, although they give it some sort of generic background that I guess can be a little bit, you know, simple artwork. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes they can make it work. But it's got terrible HP. It doesn't even have free retreat, which it should have had. And then its attacks are worse than other Ductios that are a million times older. Like straight up. 2 for 80 is bad. 1 for 40 is shit. You gotta give my guys some more love than this. Anyway. I got Meowth. Switch your shit. Man, I'm out of breath again. This is not good. Not good at all. Persian Rocket Call. You may search your deck for a Giovanni's Charisma card, reveal and then put it into your hand. So Giovanni's Charisma, I think it might be like a supporter card or maybe some other trainer card. I don't know, but this is stage 1. And then you got the side duck line. Overthinking. During your opponent's next turn, treat the result of any coin flip as tails. Okay. Unique, if anything. Then gold duck. Lifeguard. Put up to 4 Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. God damn, it's a stage 1, but that is some solid recovery. Maybe that can be used in some decks, I don't know. You got Monkey and Primeape. Any more damage? I mean, we got some Annihilate cards, so this could be something. More options, and then this Primeape. This Pokemon is now confused. What the hell? And then attack does nothing if this Pokemon is not confused. It's kind of shit if you think about it. But I mean, I guess the idea is Primeape has an additional evolution now. But just because the HP is better, maybe you put it in as opposed to the other Primapes in your Annihilate deck. Evaporate. If your opponent has 1 water energy, discard that energy. And then Arcanine. Attach up to 2 fire energies from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And 240 for 4. Discard up to 2 fire energies from this Pokemon. Damn. It's actually better than Arcanine EX in a lot of ways. Difficult to power up, but respectable damage, that's for sure. Plus it's a regular Pokemon. Okay. Magma Basin may not be enough for this. What other cards you could use? I don't know. Even a welder might not have been enough. Looks like this was a bad day to make this set review. Got the Poliwag line, Poliwhirl. These cards don't do much anyway. My guy Poliwrath, kind of cool. Is this supposed to be some sort of city it's in? Is this Celadon City or whatever? Like the guy with his Poliwrath? I mean, the HP is bad to retreat, not good. Bubble Beam, 50 for 1, and then might do paralysis. It's not that good, it's not that threatening. And then the Heroic Punch, 100 for 3, and then if you get heads, 250 damage. I mean, yeah, if you get the heads, 250 for 3 is strong. But if you don't, it's shit. So I don't know, you need to find a way to get heads all the time. And it is going to be difficult to power up, and it's always going to die in one shot. It's the same problems. Like when I see a stage 2 that needs multiple energies to work, that's going to die in one shot. You can't make them work. They got to work with one energy because they're always going to be dying in one shot. Only Nidoking and Nidoqueen, well not even Nidoqueen, but Nidoking needing the Nidoqueen to work. We're the only good regular Pokemon here so far. In terms of a deck that might be good as a regular. Yeah, nothing really else. So, from the regular Pokemon anyway. You got Abra, Kadabra. Oh yeah, you gotta savor this first Kadabra card after so many years. So Abra is shit. They get their chance to make a new Abra card. These lines, they didn't even give him some special love. So this dude, yeah, whatever. It's in a, not even a forest, it's like a valley wasteland. Anyway, I wonder what this would be. Like a safari zone maybe? Not really. Anywho. And then the first Kadabra card in so many damn years. And what did they do? What the fuck did they do? They don't even give a fuck. 80 HP, 1 retreat, 30 for 1, and then switch this with one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah. This isn't good. I guess people can try and make a hit and switch deck, but the damage isn't so good. It's not even a basic like the old Hitmonchan from the Sun and Moon era. I guess, yeah, they don't want to look at, they don't want to say, yeah, favoritism or whatever, but I mean, come on, man. This is Kadabra we're talking about after so many years. It's fine if you gave it some special shit, but I guess they don't give a fuck. And then Alakazam EX, this guy gets the most love. Ironically, the guy that has seen the most prints out of the line, thanks to being able to print it as a basic and shit. So, Mind Jack, this attack does 30 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this is actually strong. So if they got 5 bench Pokemon, that is 240 for 2. That is quite impressive. Yeah. That's pretty strong. Now your opponent can play around this, but a lot of the times if they can't, that's going to be pretty strong. Just needs a DC to work. And then dimensional manipulation, 120 for 2. This Pokemon can use this attack even if it is on the bench. What? That's definitely unique. Wow. So what this means is, I mean, this is a weak attack, but I guess it's fair because this is really busted stuff. Unique stuff and busted stuff. So at least they gave this as something unique for the line. So this means that what you can do is you can have a decoy Pokemon or like an expanded, have shit like the fucking Clefairy dolls and Robo substitutes, and then attack with this guy from the safety of your bench. Busted stuff. Have some wall Pokemon, have some regular Pokemon, and then just attack with this dude. I mean, 2 energies, 120. It's not the greatest damage output, but when you got the protection of walls, that is some busted stuff. So this is just waiting to be a broken deck, I'd say. I would say so for sure, because it's very unique. It's almost like a hit and switch strategy. You don't even need to switch to a wall. You can just sit on the bench and do this. Pretty busted if you ask me. I mean, you can fucking put like a damn Wailord or some shit. Yeah. Don't even got a hit and switch. Okay. So this guy has 2 solid attacks. Stats are pretty solid too. It only has 1 retreat. So good EX Pokemon, I'd say. I mean, it's too bad they wanted to make Abra and Kadabra shit. But Alakazam is looking good. Got Machamp line. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Machoke. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck, and it does 50 for 2 as well. You got a Starry Night Sky. Machamp. This Pokemon will be knocked out by damage from an attack. Flip a coin. If heads, this Pokemon is not knocked out. So they kind of... which does this remind me of? I hate these types of abilities because it's based on luck. Yeah, I think there was like a Hariyama that had this type of shit. Don't even gotta be full HP, like the Focus Sash. Anyway, I don't like this. They had some other cards like this. I can't really remember right now. I'm barely trying to keep up with my breath. And then Mountain Chop, 130 for 2. Or 100 for 2 actually. Cerebeer, and they discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So I guess this is meant to be like an annoyance Pokemon, a frustrating Pokemon. Not really going to be a heavy hitter, even though it's Machamp. Just discard your opponent's cards from the deck, and they just try and live, and then you just keep doing it with this ability. So kind of bullshit. I think some people are going to try and make use of it. And then with Flip a Coin shit and expand it, you can use Victini. You could probably use some other shit in standard. I don't know. Just keep making this guy alive, and then dumping your opponent's cards in the deck. I don't really like it, but anyway. You got the Bellsprout line. Bonus turn, can retreat, yeah. Doesn't do shit. Didn't give you a bird like other times. And then Victory Bell. What the fuck are these shit stats? 150 HP, 3 retreat, shit first attack, 50 for 1, and then delayed acid. At the end of your opponent's next turn, put 12 damage counters on your defended Pokemon. So it's going to be 240 at the end of your opponent's next turn. But if they switch, I think the effect resets, so it's bullshit. Great. Tentacool, you came so close to the coast. What the hell? Is this normal for you? And then Tentacruel. Poison. And then flip a coin until you get tails. 30 damage for each heads. If the first was a heads, is now confused. What? So I guess you get confusion as well if you don't get tails, whatever. Wait a minute, it's oh, it's a 90 times. I thought it was 30 now. I'm stupid. Wait a minute though. I mean, it says 90 times and then I think it's just 90 times, not 30. There's like a bullshit error here. So basically, if you get like 3 heads in a row, you're doing 270. That's busted and confusion. So this is going to be for the guys that want to gamble, I suppose. Got the Golem line, Golem EX, hell yeah. Please be good. One of my favorite Pokemon. It's kind of ironic. Golem was never... I mean, it was an okay Pokemon for me. I always liked Geodude 100%. And I guess maybe that's the reason, but ever since I made that TCG overview and getting into Golem cards, the first Pokemon TCG overview that I made, bad quality by the way, but people did like it. Golem has grown onto me. I don't know, I guess in the games too. You know, rock ground Pokemon, hitting motherfuckers with Earthquake, pretty cool. This guy doesn't do much, although I do like the background. And Graveler, this one is also very, very cool. It doesn't do much, unfortunately. Flip a coin attack. And then Golem EX, please don't disappoint me. This guy never gets good cards, it's so sad. So, dynamic rollout. During your next turn, this Pokemon's attacks deal 120 more damage in your opponent's next turn. Okay, so I don't like these attacks because they never work. It implies you gotta stay alive and then attack again. Now this works with the big attack too. If you power it up, you're gonna do 120 more. But then it's just overkill. I'm not a big fan of this. I guess if you do the first attack, that's 170 for 1. So 170 plus 50. You split it, you know, between the 2 turns. You dealt. It's like you dealt 110 damage per turn, which isn't the greatest. I mean, scratch that. You know what? It's kind of okay. It's not going to get the job done, but you're only committing 1 energy if you decide to dismiss the first attack. Okay. And then Boulder Blaster, 180 for 3, and then damage isn't affected by resistance. So this isn't anything special. Damage isn't anything special either. But I guess it beats it, giving it crazy self-damage or a million drawbacks like they usually do. So I think this Pokemon might not be that good, but because I think it's not fully useless, I might try and find a way to make it work. Make the first attack work. Maybe make a tank deck. Put some healing in once again. Just something like that. I mean, its HP, it's kind of standard for an EX 330, that mark. It's a decent mark. There's other Pokemon with 340, but it's a decent mark. It'll work. Grass weakness, you're going to definitely die to Muscarada, which might just ruin this card altogether, as always. But I mean, the sad thing is that it was going to be fucked no matter what. If it was weak to water, it was going to be fucked. If it was weak to grass, it was going to be fucked no matter what. So whatever weakness they gave it, it wasn't going to be good. I mean, what else could they have given it? I mean, it was always going to be bad. Anyway, so that's Golem. Hopefully it's a cool full art. I'm gonna like it maybe. Ponyta line. Rapidash. It kind of reminds me of a Rapidash. Well, it's almost like the artwork on an old the Stibble Charge theme deck from Delta Species. Damn, I wish I could have bought more of those in my lifetime. If only to get the elements inside. So, looks like some bullshit. Just cinch, burn, nothing, and then Mac turn 90, and then switches Pokemon, one of bench Pokemon. Too weak, too slow, terrible stats. Didn't even give it free retreat with 100 HP, what the hell. You got the Slowpoke dude. Slowbro. Both active Pokemon are now asleep, and then easy go and tackle 160. If this Pokemon evolved this turn, this attack does nothing. This isn't great, I mean, either way, but I guess it's better. I mean, it was gonna, it dies in one shot. So whether you evolve, it had the effect where it evolves in the turn you evolve, you get the bonus, or not. You just evolve into it, keep it on the bench, and then you attack later on. I mean, it's gonna die in one shot anyway. 160 for 3, it's not impressive, so whatever. Filler as usual. Like the coast background there, but it's a bad card once again. Magnemite and Magneton. Explosion, 60 for 2. What the hell? Okay. Small. And then Magneton, 60 for 3. Put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand. It's strong, but it's a stage 1. And is this clay artwork, or it's got some interesting artwork there with the background there, not exactly focusing, like you do some camera settings or like the mirrorless cameras, whatever. I forgot what the fuck it's called, but anyway. Farfetch. Draw 2 cards and then do 30 for 1. I think we had one before with the exact same stats and attacks. Anyway. Dodrio. And damaged itself. You may put 1 damage. Once your turn, you may put 1 damage counter on this Pokemon if you do draw 1 card. Come on, man. You can't be serious. That's not good at all. There's been other cards, other Dodrio cards actually. There was a Dodrio card that lets you just draw a card every turn. I think it was in Supreme Victors. Something like that. Didn't really see that much play when there's other better ability to draw Pokemon. So why do I gotta put like a damage counter on? At least if they let you, maybe you can put up to 3 damage counters and then you draw a bunch of cards. Like maybe you can put up to 2 damage counters and then you draw 2 cards. That would have made it more respectable. If you could draw 2 cards every turn, no hand size limit, it would have given it some kind of edge. But like this, man, it's pretty shitty. What a shame. And then Raging Beaks, 10 plus 30 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So I guess the idea is it's going to combo with your attack. But I mean, you're going to have to keep it on the bench for a bunch of turns doing this. And then go and attack with it. And then maybe, I guess it can be kind of busted. 90 times 30. 9 times 30. It's going to be 270, 280. Yeah, it can do a lot of damage, I guess, if you're left with 10 HP left. But it's just too much trouble. It is too much stuff you got to do. Your opponent might not even let it live on the bench that long. If they see, okay, this guy might do this, kill it, I guess. Dugong, hopefully there's a cool card as well. Dugong, one of my favorites. Always prefer it to Walrein, even though I'm a Gen 3 guy. I always think this is a cooler Pokemon than Walrein, but it's just weaker in the games. That's too bad. It doesn't look like it's going to do anything special here. 50 for... It's a double 50 snipe to 2 Pokemon, 100 for 2. I don't see this being that good. And then 100 for 3, that's straight damage. That's even worse. How the fuck you gonna... Filler, man. Very unfortunate. unimpressive stats as well. That's too bad. And you got Grimer. It almost looks like it's... What the fuck kind of fucking... like the face some fucking Dragon Ball characters will make or some shit. I don't know. Increases the retreat cost. And then Muck. Still remember that super terrible shit Muck card that I reviewed a while back. When was it? Like in the Scarlet and Violet set or the Silver Tempest set? Who even knows? During your opponent's next turn, if any Pokemon retreat cost is increased by 1 and its attack cost by 1. 30 for 1. So a lot of disruption, but damage output is weak. So by the time you can threaten your opponent with this shit, they're gonna build up the shit and to make the attack cost not matter. Should have been at least 60 for 1 with these effects. Then I would have said it's acceptable. And then 180 for 4, whatever. Can't really utilize this. Shelter. Man, I'm dying. I'm dying here. This Pokemon receives 80 less damage from attacks. Yeah, it's still gonna die in one shot and doesn't do a lot of damage anyway. Kind of nice art, but yeah. Gengar looks pretty crazy looking. It's not the crazy ass looking artwork. This Haunter is kind of cool though. So once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand, you may move one supporter card from your opponent's discard pile to their hand. Why the fuck would I want to do that? I'm guessing it's gonna be some poltergeist shit with Gengar. But you never want to do this shit. Kind of reminds me of a trainer card they printed in Team Up that was supposed to combo with, I guess, Mimikyu and Gengar Tag Team GX. Yeah, not exactly a fan. It's too bad. And then Gengar, the precise same 130 HP, 0 retreat that it has had for 15 years up to this point. Gengar Prime had this sort of stats. Gengars from Crimson Invasion, fucking Breakpoint or Breakthrough in the X and Y era, Sun and Moon era, these types of cards, same stats, no fucking improvement. What in the fuck is all I can say. And then it's got Poltergeist, not that surprising. 50 multiplier for each trainer card you find there. Now, only works with 1 energy. This is stage 2. Gonna be dying in 1 shot. But we don't... You need to have a sort of partner that's gonna lock your opponent's hand for this to work. And... I mean, in Expanded, you could use Vileplume, but using those 2 stage 2s is just too slow these days. It ain't like we got something like Spiritomb or the Stormfront Ghastly to slow your opponent down while you're setting up. So the Volguard days are gone, I'm afraid. I sort of made that happen again with Gengar, Mimikyu GX, and then the Stage 2 Vileplume. You know, using a basic Pokemon. And then you can even do like Chandelure VMAX. That was kind of cool. Wish I utilized that more. But, can't really use that shit in Expanded now anyway. You don't have access to that card, and Expanded doesn't give you the competitive rewards. He's not treated as ranked. And then this guy, you know, the damage output isn't even going to be that good. I think it's as much as Gengar Mimikyu GX does. Yeah. I guess it's just a regular Pokemon, not a lot of risk. But it's going to be dying in 1 shot. I guess you could say even Gengar Mimikyu GX these days would die in 1 shot with 240 HP. So maybe this is better, but I mean, you're gonna need through the trouble to evolve into this guy too. He's not a basic. So I don't know. I mean, Banetti X, I wanted to use that, but I really wanted to use that. My number 1 card I wanted to use, but it just doesn't have a partner. We need like an item lock Pokemon too. That's something consistent. Not something like you lock for a turn and then Banetti attacks or some other shit. And then the Spooky Dive, place 3 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon any way you like. So that's 140 total. Whatever, I guess it's a conventional attack. It's not that good. But yeah, this guy, I don't see him being good. There was even like a Trevenant stage 1 that had this sort of poltergeist attack. It didn't do shit. So I don't really see it. Onyx. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. 80 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of exactly 4. So you have to make a very specific deck with this. But it's one of those, it's kind of like that Sandaconda sort of deck. You dump your own shit and then you do more damage times the energy. So I guess this is going to be times your Pokemon. And more damage. I think at least. Maybe Sandaconda did 80 as well. Whatever, gimmick stuff, and then 100 for 4. Got these dudes. I'm dying here, but I think we're getting close. Once during your turn, opponent's active Pokemon is not asleep. Yeah, I don't see this being that good. But maybe actually with some Pokemon, auto sleep, you can do some combos. Who knows? Just to trigger damage, I guess. If your opponent is affected by a special condition, you can do extra damage hit. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to see the potential partners. It's only going to work once though. It's not every turn. It would have been broken that way though. Grabi. Water energies. And yeah. Not that's good. I can use Chien-Pao. And then this guy, 220 for 4. Yeah. Good chunk of damage. Other cards have done this shit. Don't do much. Don't do anything at all, in fact. Because you need so many energies, you're dying in one shot. Yes. Number of Pokemon tools. Okay, tool shit. You can make a deck around this, but too much investment once again. You can use Barrel with this and then run a bunch of tools, but I mean, I don't know. It's just... I think there's some cards that support like tool grabbing and shit, but might be just too much trouble. Who knows? Maybe some people would use it. Wow, kind of a weird background for the X here. Reach energy that's your opponent's active Pokemon, other filler attack. And now it's the daytime, I suppose. Nice background. Okay, so while this Pokemon is on the bench, damaging a Marowak will be decreased. Oh, used by a Marowak is increased by 30. Okay, so it's the mother protecting the kid, I guess. Shouldn't have been, though, the ability on the Marowak. Yeah, I mean, you're not really going to go far with the bonuses from these Pokemon because, of course, in order to get the Marowak, you need to evolve through Cubone. So it's not like you can use 2 different Pokemon and get this effect off. So that's always some bullshit when they do this. And then Marowak. 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Yeah, and can attack at 120. So yeah, some combos, but not that good. Whatever. It's just not that good. I mean, it's a stage 1 doing the same damage that Landora's EX used to do, Buzzwole GX used to do. Yeah, you get the little bonus, the little shitty bonus from the Cubone, and then you invest in so much else. No. You got Hitmonlee, Monlee, Tornado Kick, 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, so spread, okay. And then switch its Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So spread and hit and switch, Whatever. Hitmonchan. Wherever this Pokemon is in the active spot and took damage from an attack. Took damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters the attacking Pokemon. So I guess the idea is it's gonna combo with Hitmonlee, but it's not that effective, man. With the HP Pokemon have these days, you'd rather put a different wall than this, to be honest. And then the attack doesn't really matter. Defending Pokemon can attack during your opponent's next turn. So just like the old, at this point, Cobalion? Yeah, Cobalion is the name. So it's the same, but colorless Pokemon. Basic, less damage, but you can use any energy. Could be cool, maybe. Who knows? Force your opponent to switch. They'll probably have a way to play around it, but strong effect for sure when you can't attack at all. Could be cool. If you can do something that they can't even retreat. Yeah. Give him Lickitung a good card. This Pokemon is in the active spot, is knocked out. If it's oh shit. So it's Stormfront's Gengar Feigning Spell. If it dies, you go with it. Just the stage 1. And then 50 for 2 this deck, that's 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So I guess if you want to use a regular deck and ride your luck, this is your card. It's gonna be really busted if you ask me, because you get that random heads, man. You just get 2 prizes for free just like that. Your opponent's EX Pokemon die. So yeah, I'm not too thrilled with this. Anyway, I need to hurry up because I'm really gonna die here. I mean, I'm precipitate. Well, that's the word. I'm just getting sweaty. Let's just say that. If you played Giovanni's Charisma, 180 for 3, okay. Stage 1 can loan to appear, but it's still too slow. I guess we'll have to see what that card is, Giovanni. Cute little Chansey, one of my favorites. And then lucky bonus, if you took this Pokemon as a face down card, prize card, and your bench isn't full, you may put into your hand, you may put... What? I think it just means if you take this as a prize card, you can play it onto the bench, flip a coin, and then if heads, take 1 more prize card. So some busted ass stuff. But yeah. I'll forgive you because you're cute and you're Chansey. This is really cute. One of the cutest Chanseys, honestly. It's almost like this is a little... It's anime artwork, but kind of different, like what you used from the anime. I don't know. It's just very cutesy. I like it. And I mean, yeah, if the translation is all over the place here, but I think I get what it means. Gimmick stuff, broken stuff if you pull it off, but whatever. People are supposed to make decks around it to make it work. Tangela. If you played Erika's Invitation from your hand, 70 for 1, so I guess we'll get that shit too. And then Kangaskhan EX. Triple draw 3 cards, reminiscent of the Flash Fire Kangaskhan, I think. And then flip 4 coins, Gatling Punch for each heads, 100 damage. Fuck me. Man, 200 on average, and then if you get 3, you do 300. That's crazy. If you do 4, that's 400. So it's a coin flip attack, but the damage output is powerful. You just need colorless energy. So I think some people are going to try and make this work. So during your opponent's next turn, if your opponent If this Pokemon is to be attacked, they have to flip 2 coins, and if either is heads, that attack does nothing. Okay, so a better barrier attack. That's impressive. Making this another annoying Pokemon, but I mean, I don't really like it, once again, but it's a ride your luck shit. I don't like these attacks. Anyway. It's gonna be immune to shit if you get the heads, and 30 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon, so you can do 150 for 3 and then go from there. Okay, whatever. Not affected by effects, resistance, whatever, weakness. Put the damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. That's not too bad. I mean, it's pretty much going to work like the old Golbats where you just evolve into them to put damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. Difference is you get rid of this so they can't really threaten it then. So I think it might even be better. I mean, with Golbat, you had the option to evolve into Crobat too that did shit. But I mean, with this, you go away. I mean, whatever. I think people are going to use it. Especially now that we don't have, for a while now, we haven't had the Inteleon that puts damage counters every turn. I think maybe some people sort of miss that type of a card. We'll see. Barriered. Copycat barrier. If this Pokemon and active position have the same energy attached, prevent all damage on this Pokemon from your opponent's Pokemon. So they gotta have the same energy. I wish it just worked where if your opponent's Pokemon had 3 energies or more, they can't damage. It's something like that. And then Psi Power through damage counters your opponent's Pokemon you like. I mean, this could be a wall Pokemon, but not really. With this effect, your opponent's gonna play around it. You needed to have a more complete effect, a more standard effect. Like either Pokemon with cheap energy can touch this guy, or Pokemon with a lot of energy just can't touch this guy. It would have made a good wall that way. To one of your benched Pokemon, okay. So this is gonna work on benched Pokemon too, keep this in mind. And then Jinx EX, first special Jinx card probably. Besides, well, there's probably some other special ones, but this is the first EX, like, rule box card, I guess. Kiss Goodbye. If it's asleep, it's knocked out. Then an Icy Wind, your opponent's Pokemon's not asleep. So, you gotta... Okay, so this is... You pair this up with Hypno. The humanoid-ass Pokemon. Even though Hypno doesn't really have anything to do with Jinx. But, I see the combo here. And... this could get busted because this is a basic Pokemon too. You're gonna need to power up as well, 3 energies. But you can make some shit work maybe, who knows. You'd rather use this with Hypno as opposed to using Icy Wind and then using the Kiss Goodbye attack. Anyway. Like the Buzz. If Magmar is on your bench, 50 for 1. And then Magmar. Wow, kind of cool artwork. The Daffy Duck Mouth. Select the Buzz. 160 for 3, okay. If you have more prize cards, 180 for 3, maybe that can be useful, and some decks with Grass Energy Acceleration. Basic Pokemon, and then Rage, damage cards, Pokemon. So a slightly stronger because it starts at 30 than, you know, the Reshiram, the Rage legendary basic Pokemon from Black and White, but it's got 10 less HP too, whatever. Another Gyarados card. What? When you play this card from your hand, you must discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Why? So discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So I don't recommend this card. I don't know why you're gonna dump my cards and my opponent's cards too. Now, if it was something like your cards get discarded and your opponent's cards get discarded, that would make more sense to me. But like this, it's just a drawback. And this isn't even a good card anyway. 190 HP, yeah, whatever. It's still gonna die in one shot. And then 200 for 4 isn't anything special. Auto discard, okay, it's still nothing spectacular. It's gonna die in one shot. I don't think it's your opponents though, because then it just looks like it would be too broken for them to print a regular Pokemon this broken in this day and age. So I think it must be yours, and that's shit then. Useless card. 2 Pokemon, put them into... Okay, so you can get rid of this to grab a basic Pokemon from your deck and then put it in its place. So I guess you can use this as a searcher. It's actually strong. I see this scene play in decks. You open with this, you get rid of this. I mean, it's got to be in the active spot, so okay, that makes it more balanced. And then you can pull it like a support Pokemon or some shit, like a coffee. I see this. So your deck from the 3 Pokemon, different types. Yeah, evolution shit. Pokemon X and Pokemon V. 180. Pokemon X, Pokemon A, 180, so it's the same. I think they're all going to have the same second attack. Yeah. I guess you're just going to get different coverage if you use them together. So yeah, this has less HP but free retreat. The other ones have 1 more HP but 2 retreat, which is shit. These stats are shit, by the way, in either direction you go in. I guess because since they're going to be dying in one shot anyway all the time, maybe Jolteon is the best because free retreat can't be useful. I mean, unless Cramorant is going to hit these guys, then yeah, you're not going to live. Porygon. Choose one of all these types. Wow, unique ass attack. If any Pokemon's weakness is now that type unless it leaves the active spot. So a useless ass Pokemon, just like the old Porygon, I think from base set, I think, or jungle, or wherever the hell it was. Fossils. Put an energy to their hand. If this is active, can't retreat. Yeah, should have worked from the bench. 90 and the 30 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So 60 total, 150 for 2. Yeah, it's weak. Weak HP, weak attack. I really do want to admire and talk about these cards more, but I'm just dying. I gotta just rush through this, I'm sorry. Apply weakness for your opponent's active Pokemon as ×4 instead. So, haven't seen this in a while. An old Vileplume card from Black and White, I think it was in Boundaries Crossed, that had this. So this is gonna be like a stage 2 fossil. Won't be easy to get out, but a lot of Pokemon are really gonna appreciate this effect and become strong thanks to this. So anything that can hit now in the, let's say 70 for 1 range, all of a sudden you're doing 280 hitting for weakness. So, I mean, can't take this lightly, but you're going to have to use this with a bunch of different Pokemon to make use of this, so it's not going to be a very consistent deck. Aerodactyl. If it's an evolved Pokemon, evolve it. put the highest evolution in hand. You may move up to 2 leftovers from your discard pile and put them into your hand. Does 30 damage to itself, 134 or whatever. Got the legendary birds. This Pokemon has any water energy attached. It has no retreat cost, and then 110 for 3. That's the 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. We can work with this, I guess. It's not the greatest base damage output, but if you can hit everybody on the bench, maybe that's cool. But they only made Zapdos and EX. What kind of favoritism is this? I hate this shit. So Bold Float. I mean, I got nothing against Zapdos. I like Zapdos. I got most of my Frontier symbols in Emerald with Zapdos. But why give this guy, not the other ones? You should have given all 3 or none. Let's get Light Energy, no retreat, and then 120 and does 90 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Has any damage kind of, so it's 210 total. And then Moltres. Discard 2 energies, 120 damage snipe. Bench Pokemon specifically though, I don't like that. So I think Moltres is the worst. Damn, I'm drowsy as well on top of this shit. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, this set review did not go as planned, but I mean, I kind of knew it from the start, to be honest, when it was going to be so big. Cool looking art. Dragonite. Your Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. Fine, I guess it's going to give this guy for retreat too. 180 for 2 discard top 2 cards for deck. Yeah, not the greatest. And then Mewtwo EX. This Pokemon takes any oh, that's not an EX. This Pokemon takes any damage from attacks during your opponent's next turn, but the damage comes by the Pokemon. Okay, I see what they're gonna do. I mean, if it dies, I think it still applies. But anyways, and Side Strike, 130 for 3 discard 2, whatever. Energy Sticker. It's discard, attach a basic energy discard by one of bench Pokemon. So I guess this is a coin flip energy patch for any energy. This might be too busted, but I guess everybody can use it. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's busted. Snatch Arm. Look at your opponent's hand, choose a Pokemon you find there and put it at the bottom of your opponent's deck. I do not like this card at all. Evolution Pokemon have it hard as it is, the regular ones especially. Why the fuck are you gonna give us a card that's basically the Forceful Sentry almost from Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, this card is gonna get banned super quick, eventually. It's very, very strong. This card is broken as all fuck. I do not like this. I just don't like hand disruption. That's too easy. I did never think this is good. I mean, this ain't the fucking 2002, 2003 Yu-Gi-Oh format where every card is busted in a way, so the hand discard cards don't really matter that much. Although even back then those cards were busted. They changed up the game when they came out in Spell Ruler. So I don't like this card at all. Got the fossils. Do they do anything different? So I was like, I play these cards if it was 60 basic Pokemon. You may discard. This card can retreat. Fuck, if you see cards are exactly spot. Man, I'm drowsy, I'm hungry, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Not affected by opponent's Pokemon abilities anyway. The basic Pokemon this card attached to has no weakness. Okay, that's good, but it only works for basic Pokemon. At least if it was weakness policy, they should just give us that, because that can't be good now. I mean, they gave us that card, weakness policy. It did see some play when it came out. I think it was in Oras, yeah. Primal Clash era. Primal Clash set. But nowadays, I think that card would be a lot more useful if it came out. Big Balloon. The stage 2 Pokemon that this card is attached to has no retreat cost. Okay, so given support to stage 2 specifically, I can appreciate that. Extra tight belt. The stage 1 evolution Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from attacks from opponent's Pokemon. So tank support for stage 1. Leftovers. At the end of your turn, the Pokemon this card is attached to is deactivated. Heal 20 damage from that Pokemon. Wow, this is busted. At the end of your turn, this is absolutely busted. There used to be a different leftovers card in, I think it was Great Encounters when it came out, and it had kind of a different effect. And not a lot of people used it. Thinking back now, I think it was a lot better than people give it credit for. But anyway, that's a different story. This gives you 20. I think that might be strong. Yeah, just tank decks all day. A lot of support for tank decks. And now we're down to the supporter cards. Look at your opponent's hand, put a basic Pokemon you find onto your opponent's bench, then switch that Pokemon with your opponent's active Pokemon. Yeah, disruption, control shit. Kind of a waste for Erica, but I guess it is an invitation. And then Giovanni's Charisma. Put 1 energy from your opponent's active Pokemon back in their hand. If you do, attach 1 energy from the hand to the active Pokemon. Yeah, these supporters aren't so great. They don't really hinder your opponent much. Burning your supporter effect with this shit. You got Daisy's Care. Wow, it's like the first time I've seen this bitch besides the Fart and Leaf Green. And Heart Gold, like sitting, the sprite character basically. So draw 2 cards, look at the... I mean, I guess I didn't read the manga yet for the Pokemon. The Pokemon manga basically. So draw 2 cards for Fart and Leaf Green at least. Look at all of your face down prize cards and then put them back in any order. Okay. So draw 2 cards, see your prizes. That's not that bad, but the draw isn't so good. I mean, you get this sort of a benefit, as opposed to using different cards to see your shit in the prizes. Bill's Transfer. Top 8 cards of your deck, revealing a Pokemon, and put them into your hand. Other shit back in the deck. Can be good depending on how many Pokemon you have. But I mean, there was another Bill card that was better where you just grab any 2 cards out of 8. So, I don't know, man. Cycling Road. That player may discard 1 basic energy from their hand to use this effect. If they do, they draw 1 card. So it's like a mini Delcatty shit. Okay, so I think this card is just gonna be too broken. We have too many decks that like discarding energies for combos. I mean, it's not a coincidence Greninja is so popular. So this is gonna be good in Gardevoir decks. It's gonna be good in fluffy decks. I'm gonna like it there because I am using a fluffy deck. I just haven't shown matches with it yet. So I think that's pretty good. It gives you draw, discard energies. What's not to love? But your opponent can do this too. And then, okay, so this is the alternate art. So we finally made it to the end. So thank God. I think everything else is full art stuff. Looked at everything. Yeah, collectible set. Some cards are broken, some aren't. Okay, they're giving us a switch too. There's Mew as well. Mew EX specifically is Secret rare, whatever. So once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in hand. Alright, and then choose any of your opponent's deck. So it's a broken ass EX too. Psychic energy is a secret, okay. Yeah, I think it's obvious this is gonna be hot shit. Okay, you got this new EX. Okay, so yeah, in the Japanese set, these cards are in here like this. For us, they're gonna come in like fucking the premium collection, I think, Elite Trainer box, some shit like that. Anyway, okay, and this is the set, guys. Somehow I did it. I reviewed it. 1 hour and 35 minutes. Hope you guys had fun. I'm almost dead. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends. Some of the X Pokemon are good. My favorite Pokemon is Nidoking. Fuck the hand disruption card, whatever the hell it is. What was it called? The Snatch Arm, fuck this card. And yeah. Sabro Fine 4. What a